Hello friends, and welcome back to the series of planets through various houses for different ascendants. And in this series we will see today the effects of Sun in the 10th house for the Sagittarius ascendant sign. So when the ascendant is Sagittarius, 10th house is the Virgo sign or the 6th sign, and Sun is placed here. Now we know that Sun is one of the most important planets in your horoscope because it shows the very core of your being. It shows your soul. It shows your physical nature. It shows your physical body. And Sun is also a very important reference point to analyze your entire horoscope. So placement of Sun in any chart is of utmost significance. Now when the ascendant sign is Sagittarius, Sun becomes the lord of 9th house because 9th house contains the sign of Leo, which is the sign of Sun. So this placement is going to impact your 9th house area, and 9th house is, as you know, is the house of your luck. It shows your destinies. And the placement of Sun in the 10th house, which is another all important house, which shows your external work life. It shows how the world perceives you. It shows your external activities in life, and also the professional rise. How far you will rise in profession is determined by the 10th house. Now the aspect of Sun from this position will be on the 4th house. So 4th house matters will also be directly affected. So as we see, there are so many things which this one placement can indicate in your chart. So let's dive into each one of them. So here is the quick list of the areas of life which are generally affected by this placement, and we will also mark it on the chart for our understanding. So 9th house, 10th house because Sun is placed here, 9th house because this contains the sign of Leo, 4th house because Sun has a direct aspect on the 4th. So let's begin with the 9th house. Now since Sun is the lord of 9th house, the 9th house lord itself is Sun, Sun would become an extremely benefic planet for Sagittarius ascendant. Because 9th is a trine house. It is one of the most auspicious houses within the horoscope. It represents some of the best things in life, like your luck, things which come easily to you, your duty, things which are right to do, your religious nature, your spiritual nature, your higher education, sometimes even traveling for your higher education. So being the lord of 9th house, Sun placed in the 10th actually makes this as a very favorable position. Now when the lord of 9th house, that to Sun, is placed in the 10th, what it shows is that the person has a great inclination towards education. They actually value education very highly. And many times for the higher education, they might need to travel, and that travel could happen to abroad as well, because 9th house shows long distance travel. And this placement in the 10th shows that this education is going to be very beneficial when it comes to your work life. You will shine, you will be recognized because of your education into your work life. So people with this placement are able to use the education in the work life very nicely. You might have seen many cases where people get education in one field, but they have to change the job or do the job in a field which is completely unrelated to the education. That doesn't happen here. And they not only get education, good education, many times in foreign land, they many times start earning and working as they are completing their higher education also, because 10th house is the house of your work. The moment your higher education begins, the possibility of your work life also starts. Now in today's world, it can happen, and we have seen many horoscopes where people easily get some kind of apprenticeship while they are studying, which in today's world could even mean things like you are studying in a good university and also working as a lab assistant, or you are also working as assistant to the professor, and the work you do as part of your apprenticeship would help in paying off your education. I've seen a couple of horoscope where parents come with their child's chart, and the child was going to US, and the moment I see these kind of placement and Mercury also well placed, I said him, the chances of scholarship is very high, and they said yeah, the person has actually received a very good scholarship and also an apprenticeship with one of the professors. So when you have this placement in today's world, those good education, that education being very helpful in your work life actually shining because of your education, and your work life beginning as soon as you start some kind of a college degree, and possibility of apprenticeship, scholarship, lab assistance, or even some kind of apprenticeship in industries. Many people who do engineering, when they have such kind of placement, they get after 2-3 years of their in engineering, they get a good apprenticeship program in some of the industries, and they get job in the same industry or in the same office after completing the degree. So finding the work after completing the education is never a problem for this kind of placement, and they do very well in their work life. Now 9th house also shows your social and political life. Now again, the placement of Sun in the 10th house gives a great impetus to this. So people with this placement are very active in social and public life. Many times they get involved in the political activities in their college itself. So people who fight for student body election, there are many universities who have student body elections. They select president of a student body, or there are different roles which are elected through elections within the students community. So student body leadership, leadership, being active in social and public life, always being in the limelight, always being among people, is very common for this placement. And later in life, they can actually get into politics. They can make a good name as a politician. And if the ascendant, in this case the ascendant lord, which is Jupiter, if Jupiter and Mercury, they are well placed, they could become a well-known political personality in their area or even in their country. This position of Sun, if supported by good Jupiter and good Mercury, can impart a high level of political success to the person. Now, this placement also imparts a very logical, analytical mind, because the sign of Virgo is the peak of analysis. It is the sign which can make do with the least possible resources, and therefore this placement makes for great managers. People who do MBA or are surgeons, where minute details, small details are needed to be taken care of. This placement imparts that property. They're also good in mathematics because of their analytical mind, analytical reasoning, logical reasoning, seeing all aspects of any situation, being great managers, arranging things in order is something which comes very naturally for these people. And in their own life also, they would want everything to be in place. The saying that everything should a place and everything on its place is something which is probably said for this kind of people only. So this placement actually makes people very religious follower of everything should have a place and everything must be on its place. So some other people, it might sound a little overbearing, not so cool, because they are just so particular about having their life in a certain order, having their things in a certain place. But that's just how they work. They have to be organized and systematic in everything they do in life. Now let's quickly talk about the relationship. 10th house shows your father, 4th house shows your mother. So first of all, 9th lord in the 10th house gives a father who is quite successful in life, and family members or the family which is generally well established, well known. A lot depends obviously on the lord of the 10th house, which is Mercury in this case, but in any case the family is very well respected. The family of birth and the family from which the person belongs to is something which is highly respected in the society. This definitely happens. Now, however, placement of sun in the 10th house is generally not good for very intimate relationships. So what happens is, generally native with this kind of placement have great respect for father. Father and the son or father and the daughter with this placement, they have great mutual respect because sun is the lord of 9th house. They try to do their duty, whatever duties as a father or as a son or a daughter they have to do for each other. They would try to do those duty. However, they will remain extremely close only with mother, because sun's light is falling on the 4th house, which is a great thing. But sun itself, when it is present in that house, in the relationship, it causes some kind of burning. But it is not so bad because sun is also the lord of 9th house. So it's not that that there will be fights between the father and the son or father and the daughter, but the relationship with the mother will always be more close, more intimate, and relationship with father will be more due to more out of social and personal respect rather than that intimate bond. Now again, however, position of Jupiter being the lord of the 1st house has to be looked at properly for any of these conclusions to arrive. So my dear friends, I hope you liked this video about sun in the 10th house for the Sagittarius Ascendant. Please do subscribe to my channel and like the video for more such videos in future. So thank you for watching and see you again soon. Bye bye.